are in the prisons? Who fills up the prisons? You guessed it, so-called black and brown people, yo. Especially black men. Especially brown men. What would they say? We make up like 13.6, 14% of the American population. But we make up over 85% of the prison industrial complex. We're the ones that fill up the prison. We're the ones that are bound. We're the ones that need to be set free. Yeah, bring that out real quick. That's according to prophecy.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 42, starting at verse 22.
Read.
But this is a people robbed and spoiled.
He's talking about the Israelite people, black and brown people. We've been robbed, we've been spoiled. Robbed and spoiled of what? Our heritage, our nationality,
our God,
our language, our lands. We've been robbed and spoiled of our riches. We're robbed and spoiled. Keep going, priest.
Is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes.
We're all snared in holes. Read.
And they are hid in prison houses.
Hidden where?
Prison houses.
He said, and his people are hidden in prison houses. Who is filling up the prison houses? God's people.
The so-called
black people.
Black and brown.
Brown people. We're the ones that are filling up the prison houses. Just like the prophet told us what happened. Real talk. Finish the verse.
They are for a prey, and none deliver.
We're for a prey.
For a spoil, and none say return.
And nobody say restore. Nobody says give them back the things that were stolen from them. Nobody says that. Nobody, not one nation in the United Nations stands up for us and says, give them black and brown people the things that were stolen from them. Give them their things back. Nobody does that. But they'll put us in those prison houses. Give me the one in Lamentation 5. Go Lamentation chapter 3. And let's start at verse. Let's read 53. Lamentation 3 and 53.
Alright. The book of Lamentation, chapter 3, starting at verse 53.
Read.
They have cut off my life in the dungeon.
They have cut off my life in the dungeon. What is a dungeon? A prison.
Facts.
What is a dungeon? A prison cell. A jail cell. And Jeremiah said what?
They have cut off my life in the dungeon.
Jeremiah said they have cut off my life in the dungeon. And remember, this is a black man talking. This is a so-called black man saying this. Bring that scripture out about Jeremiah real quick. Jeremiah chapter 8, verse 21.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 8, starting at verse 21.
Read.
For the hurt of the daughter of my people, am I hurt.
Read.
I am black.
I am what?
I am black.
I am black. Read.
Astonishment hath taken hold on me.
Astonishment have taken hold on me. This black man said, go back to Lamentation 3. Read that again.
The book of Lamentation, chapter 3, starting at verse 53. They have cut off my life in the dungeon.
This black man said they have cut off my life in the dungeon. We understand that, right? How many brothers can you think of that have had their lives cut off in the dungeon?
Hey, let me read it.
Hold on one second. In the jail, in the prison. How many brothers have heard the judge say life? How many brothers have heard the judge say 60, 70, 80 years, which is just like life? How many brothers heard that thing right there? A lot of brothers. And Jeremiah is just one of many. One of many. What you want to read?
Hey, let me read up and read back down.
What verse?
52.
Go ahead, do your thing.
The book of Lamentation, chapter 52. Book of Lamentation, chapter 3 and verse 52.
Read.
My enemies chase me sore.
My enemies. Who are our enemies? The other nations. The same nations that y'all love so much. God says they are your enemy. And the Bible said what?
My enemies chase me.
Jeremiah said his enemies chase him sore. This black man said his enemies are on his heels. Read.
Like a bird without cause.
Like a bird without cause. Like a bird for no reason. Read.
They have cut off my life in the dungeon.
They have cut off my life in the prison. Read.
And cast a stone upon me.
And cast a stone upon me. That stone is that prison door.
Hey.
That jail cell locking on you. Casting that stone upon you so you can't what? Leave. So you can't get out. That's what that is. Go ahead, bro.
And also too, bro, this will let you know that the nations outside of those in them dungeons and prisons are our enemies.
They are enemies, yep. The white man, the same one that throws you in the jail here in Chesapeake, that's your enemy, man.
Mm-hmm.
Real talk. Read down.
Verse 54. Waters flow over my head.
What happens when a Negro get life? 50 years, 40 years, 30 years, 20 years. He sits in that jail cell and does what? Cries. Waters come and flow over his head, yo. Tears come out that man's eyes. And I don't give a damn how hard he is either. I don't care how tough he is. Be super gangster in the street. Till that jail cell lock. Till that prison door lock. Then, read that part again.
Verse 54. Waters flow over my head.
Then it's tears. Read.
Then I said, I am cut off.
Then I said, I'm cut off. Cut off from what? What happens? What are you cut off from when you're locked in that prison? You cut off from the world. Cut off from your family. Cut off from your friends. You cut off, man. Cut off from society at large, man. For real. Keep going, priest.
Verse 55. I called upon thy name.
What they do?
I called upon thy name.
That's what happens when we get locked up. Especially when we get them long bids. That's when we start to call on God. We start to call on God. We start to call on Jesus. Or some of us turn Muslim. Start calling on Allah.
Hey, you want that?
Why? Because we feel that pressure. We feel that pressure that comes with that penitentiary system. That jail system. What you got for me?
Hosea 5 and 15.
Yeah, get that. Hell yeah, bring that one out.
The book of Hosea, chapter 5 and verse 15. I will go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offense.
You know what it means to acknowledge your offense? It means to take accountability. Accountability for your own mess-ups, your own F-ups, your own faults. That's what it means. It means to take accountability. Read.
Their offense and seek my face.
Now watch this.
In their affliction.
In their what?
In their affliction.
In their affliction.
They will seek me early.
They will seek me early. That's what you have in prison. Afflictions.
Facts though.
Afflictions. Matter of fact, before you finish Lamentation, get that in what Christ said in Revelation chapter 2. Revelation chapter 2 and verse 10. Just in case you think we making it up. You might think we joking, especially the youth. The youth might think we joking. But no, we ain't joking. We telling you what it is. When you get cast up in those prisons, taken into those prisons, you're going to have affliction. You're going to be afflicted. And you're going to be afflicted for whatever time you got to serve. Read that real quick, priest.
The book of Revelation, chapter 2, starting at verse 10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer.
Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Christ is telling us two things. He's telling us, first and foremost, don't be fearful. Don't be afraid. Don't be scared. But secondly, he's telling us we're going to suffer, yo. There's going to be suffering. Well, guess what? Us as black people, we've had fear and we've had suffering.
Facts, though.
Real talk. Just like Christ said we would. Keep going, priest.
Behold, the devil, the
goddamn white man, read.
Shall cast some of you into prison.
Shall cast some of you into prison. Where are some of our brothers and sisters, and fathers and mothers, and sons and daughters in the prisons? In the prisons. And who put them there? The damn devil. The goddamn devil. Real talk. Well, first and foremost, their own actions. Their own actions. But a lot of our brothers have been wrongfully incarcerated. And guess who wrongfully incarcerated them? The goddamn devil. Read, priest. Oh, read it for the devil.
All right. The devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried. And ye shall have tribulation.
You have what?
Tribulation.
You know what another word for tribulation is? Affliction. 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 How long?
10 days.
10 days. The number 10 is just the number of completion. The number 10 is just a number of completion. He's telling you you're going to be afflicted until you finish your sentence. Until you finish serving the time that the devil gave you. That's what he's telling you. Finish the verse.
Be thou faithful unto death.
Read.
And I will give thee a crown of life.
But that's for the faithful. That's for the faithful. Go back to Lamentation 3. Pick up where you were.
The book of Lamentation, chapter 3, starting at verse 55. I called upon thy name, O Lord, out of the low dungeon.
Out of the low dungeon. You remember our brothers be like, oh man, he gonna throw him under the jail.
Facts though.
They're gonna lock him up beneath the jail.
That's the dungeon.
That's the dungeon right there. Keep reading.
Verse 56.
Oh, they call that the hole today. They call that the shoe today. That's what they call that. Administrative segregation. That's what it's called today. That's being under the jail right there today.
Oh, protective custody.
Yeah, for some. And for others, administrative segregation. Keep reading.